G'day and welcome to my special place. Well, my second most special place. My special place is behind the wheel of one of these cars. But to be here to unveil a newcomer to New Zealand really is, well, truly special. And to help me do that, I'd like to welcome Luke Neuberger from McLaren Auckland. Luke, good to see you again. We can shake hands again now, mate.
We can. And my special place too.
Radical, relentless, reborn are the words I've heard about this car. I said I get excited about these moments, but you've been talking about this for a long time, haven't you?
We have, yeah. So we went and saw this car, PC, pre-COVID, up in the UK, Michael and I, and it was a pretty exciting unveiling. Everyone knows that a long tail always tends to be a greatest hit for McLaren. So no, it's definitely one we've been waiting for.
Now, people may have seen this online, so we're not going to delay it. Let's take the covers off. So this car is something really, really cool. This is the McLaren 765 LT. Luke, there's a whole lot more. There's more power, obviously more speed, less weight, all those special formulas McLaren likes to put, but there's more, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I mean, everything about LT is about increasing that driver involvement. And it's more horsepower, it's more grip, it's a wider track, it's more aero, it's design cues, some of which aren't so subtle. Look at these wings and fenders.
It has attitude, doesn't it?
It does. It's dialed up to 11, and that's LT for us.
And there are so many cool things about this car. Let's talk about it heading off to the gym. A bit of a weight loss thing, because there's some serious work on them. Because let's face it, the 720S that this is based on was class leading for its weight.
It was already a featherweight when you compare it to its competitors. So for us to find another 80 kgs was actually quite a tall order. But our engineers did it, and that's through some use of new carbon fibre technologies, use of titanium, some go fast bits from the Senna. And yeah, so 80 kgs is a terrific result.
Go fast bits everywhere. And you mentioned titanium. This guy, just go to my favourite bit now, and that's this. Titanium exhaust system, quad exit pipes. I may call me 13 years old, but I just love that.
When two pipes won't do. But it's not just the exhaust system in the rear end, it's that rear diffuser. And anyone that's seen that 720S GT3 car race at Bathurst knows how big that rear diffuser is. And that's styled off it, and I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I've got to be honest too, looking at this sort of this lattice around here, this looks like almost a show car. It looks like it shouldn't be real, but again, there's method to the way this is designed.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's all about when you turn up the horsepower. The other thing you've got to find is the extra cooling. So that's designed to exit all the hot air from the rear of the car, and you know, that new design, something we first saw on Senna, which is carried on through 765.
There's a lot of crazy things here in too, because you talked about the bits you can't see, and there's so many cool extrovert bits, if you like. But there's F1 inspired drivetrain. There's all sorts of stuff they've gone on that you can't see, but it's worth knowing about.
Yeah, use of polycarbonate in the glazing on the rear end. I mean, I think that's one of the nicest features of the 765.
So that's not glass.
It's polycarbonate, yeah. So of course with 720 and all our Super Series product, the A, B and C pillars are in carbon fibre, and this use of polycarbonate really just accentuates that design. You get this wonderful sort of almost jet fighter canopy cockpit in the rear end.
Hey, I've got to say too, you've talked about some of these bits, these flashy bits, and what's cool too is you say that these aren't optional extras.
No, so they have been on previous LT models, you know, $20 odd thousand optional extra. The carbon fibre MSO louvers now come standard for New Zealand for our specification. So that's cool, and it really sets the car apart.
You know, I'm leading to your favourite part, because there is an optional extra.
There is.
And it's not on this car, but it would sit here.
So we've had a couple customers tick that box. Yeah, it is pretty special. It's the MSO carbon fibre roof scoop. So you two can have a snorkel, which might add is functional.
And that's a bit of a Senna touch too, isn't it?
It is Senna, yep, but I mean, it comes from the F1 GTR or from the McLaren F1. That's where we first saw it race, and you know, in the...
And a nice link to the racing heritage
to the heritage, but it's the noise you get. It's that noise above your head.
Now, you mentioned the Senna. The other figure I remember from looking at this is 800 Newton metres, which is
the same as the Senna. That's right.
Luke,
yep, that's right.
That's incredible.
So, I mean, I really think, Shaun, this is a supercar, or a hypercar, should I say, for supercar money.
Hey, the other number, 765. Now, I know in McLaren speak that relates to the PS horsepower.
It is, yep.
563 kilowatts, but it means something else as well.
We've got to touch on that because I think it's unique with this car in that in this segment, 765 is the total number of production. So this is a limited series car.
Wow, which means it's going to be limited in New Zealand.
Very limited.
But you're getting a few, I hope.
We're getting a few. Yeah, we don't have many left, but we're getting a few.
Before we hop inside, because there's a wee thing Luke mentioned to me that I can't wait to share with you, but let's talk about what's going on under the car here, because you've spoken to test driver Kenny Brack and you wanted to know about this car. We saw Mr. JWW drive it and he was blown away at Silverstone. But tell us what stood out for you when you talked to Kenny.
Well, I said when we saw Kenny in the UK, I said, Kenny, well, what's the one option? What's the one thing you've got to have on 765? And he said, Luke, it's the brakes. You've got to have the optional track upgrade. So 765 already gets the monoblock calipers from Senna, but if you spec the track option, you actually get the discs as well. So, I mean, it's got to be the most phenomenal braking system on any road car.
You know, when folk like me write about cars, we talk about the parts bit and things manufacturers can go into to find cool bits for their cars. Being able to go into a parts bin for a Senna isn't bad, is it?
It's not a bad parts bin to raid.
And not just the brakes too, because a lot of work, it's lower, isn't it?
It is, yep. So 5mm lower, wider track, obviously a lot more aero, quicker steering rack too, you know, so it's going to give you some fantastic feedback on track.
And the thing I read about it too, they said it's made to be punished on the track. It's actually made to be able to give you lap after lap, which, let's be honest, a lot of cars cry off, don't they? Because it's a hard life out there.
They do, but I mean, it's got to be designed to do that, but it also has to be designed to drive on the road. And
well, you made it here, so it can do it.
That's right, yeah. So, you know, and that's the challenge our engineers had. But this car does it. And LT, I think that's our party trick. We've got that proactive chassis control. All four wheels are independent. There's no anti-roll bar as such. When it hits a pothole, it does tend to glide over it, and so it won't shake your teeth out.
Right, and that's not often the case for a track-ready car. Right. Hey, can you jump inside, open some dihedral doors? Monocell 2, of course.
Monocell 2, that's correct.
Right, so super strong. That's the carbon fibre structure that basically the car's built around. Now, those seats. Now, I will say, though, there's not a whole lot of creature comforts in here, are there?
No.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it's everything you need and nothing that you don't really. New centre console and carbon fibre. We've got the MSO extended shift paddles. Of course, this car comes with a McLaren's track telemetry app, so it uses the car's GPS system to effectively data plot your track lap, so you can take it home and review it. And if you tick a box, you get the cameras too.
But you were saying there's not a lot of creature comforts. It's not made to be a GT cruiser, but these seats are comfortable and they've got real heritage, haven't they?
They do. So we first saw them in the P1. Of course, you can option the super lightweight seat from the Senna.
But a P1 seat, Luke.
Oh, I mean, it's not a bad seat to be in. That's right.
Okay, Luke, I want to hear this. I want to hear it sing. It's actually steaming up my glasses. Luke, there's a real sort of a yelp to that. It doesn't sound like other LTs.
So we use titanium for the exhaust. Obviously, it's a weight-saving material, but we've done away with maybe the more bassier tones you see in the GT or the 720. And the engineers, when developing that exhaust, have opted for like more of a high-pitched scream, a cry.
Like a race car, a wail. I noticed behind you too, on that rear deck, not only can I see 765 LT, I can see the engine.
Yep, so this one has the optional engine window, which you can spec. Yeah, it's a little bit like Iron Man seeing his heart, isn't it?
It is indeed.
And it glows red at night time, Shaun.
Oh, magic. I love it. We've talked about so much with this car. It's starting to look at, really, you've got to get to McLaren Auckland and just see this car. There is one more figure I want to finish with. And when you told me this, I couldn't quite believe it because this car is rear-wheel drive. What are the acceleration figures?
0 to 100, 2.8 seconds. 0 to 200, well, they say 7, but I've got it on pretty good authority. It's It's a little bit less than that.
7 to 200. You realise there's nothing else I can say to that. Oh, under 7.